Welcome, all my incredible seminary teachers. I'm so glad you joined me today. This is an incredible lesson. I really love the impact that this lesson had on my students today, and I look forward to sharing it. I hope you have a great experience with it. I'll have the show notes and the PowerPoint. I'll have the study page in the description below. And so, if there's anything here you want to use, feel free to go get the resources and the links below. So grateful to you all join me. So grateful you're showing up teaching seminary because you're amazing and you're heroic for showing up day to day teaching seminary. Let's jump right into this lesson. So we got Moroni 7:45 to 48 charity. With a charity practice, this is really effective. I really loved what this did in my class. We're using a talk called The Tongue Can Be a Sharp Sword. So I got that right here. Let's jump in. Here's the introduction from the manual. Think about times when you felt Christ-like love. What difference has Christ-like love made in your life? Don't really do anything with this slide. Just kind of read it, introduce it. Moroni recorded at the conclusion of the sermon that his father Mormon had delivered in a synagogue years earlier. Mormon taught, Mormon taught to lay how to lay hold upon every good thing, especially charity, the pure love of Christ. This lesson is intended to help you understand and seek charity in your life. To kind of set the environment, I played this wonderful video. The link is in the description here. I'll also have the link in the show notes. And this just a feel good charity music video. And I tell the students ahead of time, hey, I want you to share something, what you feel, what you observed, what you learned, and kind of one of the best ways to feel charity is to observe charity, I've found. And so this video does a great job. I also have one other video in the in the PowerPoint. How does kindness come back to you? It's a really touching video, not done by the church, but really powerful video. I didn't have time for both, so you may want to watch both of them and then pick which one you want to use, depending on the length of your class, right? So I get about an hour and 10-ish minutes. You may have a little bit less, and so you may not want to pick that which video you want to use. But it's a great way to invite the spirit and to help students observe charity and what it looks like. Now, I have a song here linked for you, Joy to the World. Have Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. We love you. It's linked right here. So you can just start playing right there. Have them get their handbooks out, play right there. Okay, back to the some more intro from the lesson manual. I actually didn't do this slide, but I put it in case you wanted to. It's the little charity quiz. 1 to 5. I try to help serve others. Rate yourself type thing. I wanted to save some time for the end activity, which we're going to get to down here. Next slide. Mormon's sermon on charity. Near the end of the record, Moroni included a sermon his father Mormon had given to the peaceful followers of Christ. Mormon taught principles of love that, if heeded, could have prevented the Nephite destruction. These teachings would also be relevant to Moroni, who witnessed the Nephites' brutal destruction by the Lamanites and wandered alone for years. So I had them read the scriptures, Moroni 7:45 to 8. This column right here, I had them read this. And they read it silently for 2 to 3 minutes with some peaceful music in the background, marking for golden phrases. When they are done, I do the share the phrase activity with the follow-up question. This is really was effective. So person one reads a phrase. So for example, a charity suffered long. And then the teammate asks, what does that mean in your own words? Or why do you think that is important? And then we're going to switch roles. Person two shares, person one asks follow-up questions. And that was very effective. I found it very effective to help train students to ask follow-up questions. It helps them to have more meaningful conversations on their own and helps them to think more deeply. Yeah. So it worked great. I love this little activity. I don't have a name for that strategy, but if you want to leave a name in the show notes, I think it would be very helpful for me to come up with a name for this strategy. But because it is so helpful and I want to implement it more in my teaching, having them ask the follow-up questions. And then afterwards, I could then turn to the class, say, okay, let's share some of your phrases. I could have them rock, paper, scissors. The loser has to share, walk around. Okay, now you share, now you share. Out of you two, who's going to share? Boom. But keep in mind pacing with this because you got some other things that are going to take some time. but great strategy here to engage students. Next, we're going to go read the phrase on the left and write what you think it means in your own words on the right. And then we're going to pass the paper and repeat. This was very helpful, this activity, having them rewrite it. And I think what it helped me to see is that kids really do struggle with this stuff. And it was so good to have them wrestle with these words and then have them share. And so honestly, we didn't get through the whole there's more than that's seen here. We didn't get through the whole column, but it's really effective to go through this. And I also have them pass the paper. Now, the reason I have them pass the paper is because sometimes if you don't do this, either a student will disengage, or two, you'll have a student do the whole thing real quick and not work with his teammate. So this is how I did it. I said, okay, put your name on your paper. We're going to pass the papers. We create a rotation in the class with the different where the papers go. And then I have them read the phrase with their teammate and say, okay, how do we rewrite this in our own language or translate this verse? And charity suffereth long. Uh, and love, the pure love of Christ endures hardships, something like that. And what I loved about doing this is students read things totally different than I did. And sometimes their translations were totally thought provoking and insightful to me. And so that really brings out their their thoughts and their insights, and that's a fun activity. Now, when they don't understand what a word is, I usually will ask them to turn to their neighbor and ask them, right? And then, oh, you guys don't get it? Well, you ask the people in front of you. Now, it might seem like it's counterintuitive. I'm creating all this talking, but I want kids to work and think. And the other thing is if somebody does know the definition, I want that person to shine. I want to give that person an opportunity to shine and not just all the attention on, oh, Brother Kirk knows all these words. That's not the point of this class. Training them and helping them to shine in the class. And so after they're done with that phrase, I found it helpful to say, let's hear from the class a few different ideas of what you put. Get a few ideas, good, pass the paper. Now they go to the next one and repeat this process. Very effective. If you're short on time, you might just say, pick out some that you for sure want them to highlight or work on. For example, maybe you think this one's a little more challenging, have them work on that challenging one so that they can, really wrestle with the scriptures. And this is really effective tool because you get to see what they struggle with or their insights and their thoughts. And the other thing is sometimes we just take it for granted. They read some verses and they get it, right? And we want them to engage in that wrestle. And then sometimes when we get them to write and then share, we're observing, we're hearing what they're struggling with or what incredible insights they have. So the intention was to then jump in and show this video, another kindness video, to get them observing charity. Observing charity, observing kindness really helps us to feel like it's a scientific proof, like evidence, like, we feel good by doing service and kindness. And then even just observing kindness helps us get like, some brain chemicals. Is it endorphins? I don't know. And it just helps us to feel good, right? And so sharing kindness and then observing kindness. And that's kind of what my intention was with this extra video, but I didn't get time to show it. But it's a great video. Look at it. Choose which one you want to share. Next, one of my all-time favorite conference talks was this one by Elder um, Marvin J. Ashton back in 1992. And the tongue can be a sharp sword. I have a link right here. I created some clips from this video, 5 minutes. And if you click the link, watch it on YouTube, you can watch it at 1.5 speed. And what I want the students to do is I want them to mark as we go. Mark as we go, listen, and just mark the powerful phrases. And this talk is about words and how bashing or making fun of people should be replaced with charity. And so This is an important talk because it springboards to the next activity. This talk is phenomenal. The study pages right here, which are in the show notes. After this, I had them share with their teammate some phrases they marked, have some share with the class, and then jump into the activity. Because our words can be so powerful in helping people either feel loved or bashed, we want to practice helping people feel loved. This is what we're going to do. What nice things can you say about a classmate? Raise your hand, share something positive about someone in the class. Make sure the tone matches your message. That is super important. I tell them, make sure your tone matches the message. And I even give them an example. Like if I go up to someone and say, nice shirt, eh," they're going to be thinking, he didn't really like my shirt. He's making fun of my shirt. But the word said nice shirt, right? But the tone means everything. And so this is really important that as we give these compliments, we make sure our tone matches the compliment so that people in the class really feel this. And so I'm always thinking, and this is a 1% better thing. What could I do to help set my students up for success? Some students really struggle with this. They don't know what to say. And so I came up with a sample of phrases and I said, you could share some of these phrases, or you can share, of course, anything nice you have to say. I said, say someone's name and then a phrase. So it's like this: John has given me a lot of insights. Sally is so talented at this. Sam is wonderful to work with. Bobby is so friendly to me. Alice is great to work with because Mark is an awesome teammate because Michelle makes class fun to be here because Mark means a lot to me in my life because I'm so happy when she is here because mm, Tim is a powerful person because Mike has great ideas. Sam makes a difference in my life. Tony gives me joy to be around. Michelle, you are an important part of our class. Mike, I appreciate you so much. John, I appreciate our friendship. See some of these phrases, and this is where the magic happened. I said, all right, students, let's hear from you. And I had them raise their hand and just go. And I want you to say 15 minutes, depending on the size of the class, okay? I guess that really matters. But if you, I gave 15 minutes, and honestly, I have a class of 25, or approximately every class is different, but share this, get them to share and give them time. And it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful to listen to kids raise their hand. And in both my classes, everyone was identified and highlighted. And it was a beautiful way to invite the spirit of charity into the class. And so we're practicing charity and we're feeling charity. And I wanted people to go multiple times and identify multiple people and just stand there and say, okay, who's next, And I guess this is something that was evidenced in my classes. I've really paid a price to help students form a community. And that might be a good litmus test of how well you formed community in your classes. How well can kids do this? And could they do it with more than just one or two people? So I don't know if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you've seen some of the activities that I do to build community and build connections in my class. And it's such a huge priority because I feel like to belong is the first step to conversion, helping people feel loved and belonging. And if kids don't feel like they belong in our seminary class, they're going to have a hard time feeling the spirit of conversion to Christ. And so, really, what charity is Christ. And so, what we're feeling is Christ today. So, the next slide, step back and say, what do you feel after studying today? What did you feel after doing this activity? And get some kids to raise their hands. And they're going to share some remarkable feelings. And you just let them go for a little bit. What did you feel? Sam, do you mind sharing? What did you feel? Tony, what did you feel? Michelle, what did you feel? Marsha, what did you feel? and just let them share. And what you're going to find is they felt love. Finally, somebody's going to say, I felt love. I felt charity. And I just tie it all back to the Savior. I want you to know what you felt today was Jesus Christ. This is how Jesus Christ feels. And one of the best ways and easiest way to feel his love is to share that love with other people. Because when we share that love, he fills us with his love. And such a beautiful activity. I can't wait for you to try it. It's so awesome, man. I just love it. I'm humbled by it, to be honest. Last activity is get a 3x5 card or a little piece of cardstock or a little piece of paper and write down a favorite phrase or verse, line, quote, or phrase. What did the Savior teach you today? What do you plan to do today to share more love with the world? Throughout the day, pull out of your pocket the card and read over it many times for a mini lesson review. Many, many lessons. I love this activity. It's such a great follow-up or a great conclusion to a class. And so this was a super powerful lesson. This was just magnificent. This was like a cherry on an ice cream for me. This was such a beautiful experience to have students share these amazing feelings towards each other and what they felt, and then to get them to share their feelings. So there you go. Moroni 7 Charity. Such a beautiful lesson. I hope you enjoy it. If you use parts of this, would you just let me know in the comments below what you liked from this video? What do you want to try or what you used? I really appreciate the feedback and the help. Thank you very much. Everybody have a great day. And remember, heroes show up to teach seminary. And that means you, my friend, are a hero. Have a great day.